Welcome to Who Knows. Today I'm going to talk about the food in America. Well, I have to say the choice or the option in America, it's really a lot because America kind of like mixed country, can I say that? You can see all the different people living here, so that's why I make the food and the restaurant like that much option. For example, it's like some food we not really can find in China. It's like a Greek food, Mexico food, maybe Indian food are not as easy as well. You will find it's quite difficult to find one in the city you live. But here you can try really the whole world food. But I won't say all tastes good because for sure, especially Chinese food that I will mention later. But I'm going to talk about 3 food I like the most in America first. First, maybe you're quite a little bit surprised, but my favorite food in America so far is Vietnam food. Because when I live in China, I didn't really feel like Vietnam food is my favorite for sure. So I choose this first is because I compare with China. The Vietnam food here really tastes much more better because we don't have a banh mi in China. The bread is really nice, and especially the grilled beef is really super tasty. That's why I always, when we need to order the deliver, most of the time we would choose the Vietnam restaurant. And my husband loved the egg roll, and I love the rice noodle bowl. Yeah, so that's our favorite. So it's really will be a good choice. Doesn't matter you are America or Chinese or where you come from, you must try, please. And the second favorite food in America is Japanese food. Well, I choose this for a different reason. This time, not because it's much more better than the Chinese restaurant. Sorry. So I choose this. It's not this time different reason. It's not because here the Japanese food like tastes much more tasty than China. It's only because Japanese food is really good all the time. Doesn't matter where you have them. But I have to say maybe the seafood here more fresh. You will find out like more safe to have, but the price is really different. Just because I guess maybe it's too far to deliver to here from Japan, so that's why I make the price much more higher than we have in China. Yeah, so that's the second favorite I like. And the number three, the food I like in America is American food. Yeah, but I have to say American food have like quite a lot of different options too. Just like in China, if you mention Chinese food, you will find out have a Dongbei Cai, Hunan Cai, Sichuan Cai, Guangdong Cai, same like America. But so far I couldn't say I try all of them. But the food like a pizza, burger, hot dog, steak. I think maybe the main American food I already tried quite a lot already. So far my favorite is steak, and also so far my favorite American food is a steakhouse, and also red lobster again. Well, it's not. It's since the last time, maybe 2 years ago when we feel when we have the road trip. I mentioned about the red lobster. You guys do tell me like, wow, you have lots of options better than red lobster. So my husband did take me to try some different seafood restaurant this time, but I still quite like red lobster. I don't know why. You know, the biscuit is really nice and the lobster super fresh. Well, so still my favorite so far. So that's my favorite food in America so far. And now I'm going to talk about a little bit about Chinese food in America. Well, I have to, say this as my standard. It's not everyone's standard, because for my husband, he thinks the Chinese food in America much more tasty than China. Because, well, it makes sense. Just like the burger or the pizza in China, you will find out it's quite different compared with overseas. So for my standard, I have to say at the beginning it's a bit disappointed for the Chinese food, because first the action is not too much. Like most of them is Sichuan food or Hunan restaurant. Not as much as they don't have that much Guangdong Thai here, because I'm from Guangdong province, right? So I miss Guangdong Thai a lot. It's not easy to find out some like a shao la, like a shao ya, shao rou, that kind of food. Yeah, that's kind of my favorite. Or that's kind of my Hong Kong style maybe. So, and then the second point I find out different is the food. Even you order the spicy dishes, they are not as spicy as the one it should be in China. Like my husband's favorite gong bao ji ding, that dish should be spicy. So in China, they will always mention to you like how much spicy you want. Then they will choose even you say okay, just a little bit, still would taste quite spicy. But here I have to say please add extra spicy. Well, still not that spicy as we expect. So maybe this is a kind of different thing. And also the Chinese food here, it's most of the time is quite sticky. They use quite a lot of maybe like shenfen, I don't know, just always quite sticky. So that's the point. I'm not really enjoyed it that much, but I still find, of course, but I still find my favorite place to have a Chinese food here is Chinese buffet. Because, well, I have to mention, forget to mention one thing, is the size of the meal in America. It's really huge. So when you go to the normal Chinese restaurant in America, be careful, don't try to order too much, because, well, the amount of the dishes, the amount of the food kind of like more than double or maybe triple than China. So in China, sometimes we have to order maybe 3 dishes for 2 people in China. But here, oh my God, if you order 3 dishes, you don't need to cook for another day, because you have enough to take away for second day to eat. So that's also, so because this size problem, so every time when we go to the restaurant, we couldn't order too much. So we own 2 meals already quite enough for 2 of us. So that's why I make my option every time is so little. So I love Chinese buffet is, you can have so many different kind of food you want and just choose 1 or 2 small pieces. And I have to say the quality is really not bad. In China, if you go to some buffet restaurant, most of them is not really that tasty. Only the 5-star hotels one will taste better. But here, even we just find a random Chinese buffet, it's really not bad and super worth it. I have to mention, super worth it. Yeah, so if you're Chinese and if you just come to America and you want to have some Chinese food, my suggestion is go to Chinese buffet first. And that's all for today, and hope you learned something. and see you next time.